All right, Unit 4, Section 4 is Fingerprint Characteristics. All right, ridge characteristics are called minutiae, or minutiae, I don't know. Minutiae, they are characteristic ridge patterns. So the ridges on your fingers and your toes will follow, will have certain patterns in them that they will always have. So, por ejemplo, a ridge ending is going to be where a ridge ends, and then the ridges around it kind of, fill in. Bifurcation or a fork, self-explanatory there. Island or short ridge, a dot. Bridge connecting two adjacent ridges, a spur. Eye or enclosure. A double bifurcation and a trifurcation. These are different. A double bifurcation is where a fork forks. A trifurcation is where you have a three-way split. I do expect that you know all 10 of these and that you can identify them on sight. So take a little bit and familiarize yourself with these. So when you look at an actual print, you're going to try to find these points of commonality. Ridge characteristics that are in one print that are also in another print. Okay, so you're going to be trying to find, let's say we find this one at a crime scene. What we're going to want to do is make sure that we can identify enough points of commonality between the two compared to, maybe we have a stock print from a suspect, or we take a print from a suspect and compare it to the scene. Okay, so you'll have the two prints, you'll have the control, and then you'll have the unknown. But you want to find as many points of commonality as possible. So, for example, we have a spur right there. Deltas and cores are easy to identify. Things like a scar actually can be used. Once you get a scar, it's not going to go away. So a scar and a fingerprint can be used as well. So you can find a lot of different prints on here. A lot of different points. You got a spur here. You got a ridge ending. You got a bifurcation. Another ridge ending. A bifurcation. Bifurcation here. Bifurcation here. Bifurcation here. You have a bunch of ridge endings near the bottom down here. Now, one thing to consider though. Is that when we are inking prints, which we're going to do tomorrow, when you ink a print, if you use too much or too little ink, it can create incorrect ridge characteristics. You can see minutiae that aren't actually there. You can see minutiae maybe that, or maybe you won't see ones that are there. So if you over ink, and let's say that the ink is so damp that you put so much on it that it fills in the valleys between the ridges, you're going to obscure a lot of what you're looking for. Okay, so if all of these valleys get filled in, all of a sudden now you don't have any ridges left, and it's just a big schmudge. A schmudge is a thing or something. So it gets all smudgy and you can't read it. So we will be cautious of that tomorrow while you practice. There isn't a legal requirement in the United States as of right now of how many points of commonality that you need to have. Courts will accept 8 to 12 points of similarity. That, however, may not be as appropriate now. If you, just when I was looking at it, just, in this section alone, I could find 8 to 12 ridge characteristics, okay? But the point is that you need to be able to find really, realistically, many more. And part of the problem is what is known as the CSI effect, which has actually resulted in juries being a lot harsher. They're a lot harder to convince, and they expect a lot more to be presented to them, which is making prosecution a lot harder to do. So in these two prints, just kind of pause it here. This is the last slide, so take as much time as you want, but see if you can find 10 minutiae for each print. And you can actually see the difference here between a good print and a bad print. This left one is not a great print. This one here on the right is much, much better. So take a look, see how many you can find, and tomorrow we will practice printing.